Hey everybody, welcome back. So it's been a while, but there's nothing like a good old shopping spree to get you back and get your creative juices flowing. Lost my mojo for a while. Think I finally found it again. As we all know, it's been a tough year, so I'm just literally gonna dive into my crafts because it's my sanctuary, as I'm sure it is for everybody else. So today I have been playing with one of the new, let me take it because otherwise it's gonna glare, the Texture Fades by Sizzix, Tim Holtz, and it's the wood grain, and these literally are amazing. The new 3D, they make such a deep impression. I don't know if you can see that, such a deep impression. I just absolutely love them, like really love them. So these are the ones that I'm going to show you how to make. This is one of them. They turned out amazing, absolutely amazing. I don't think the camera's literally doing them any justice, but look at that grain. Oh, it's so good. Love this one. It's kind of like a old shabby beach shack flooring. Love it. This one, oh, can you see there how it literally looks like the wood's been burnt? This one, it's like an old, do you remember in the 80s when when your nan and granddad used to just paint over and over the skirting boards and the door frames, and there would be like 20 layers of paint on the door frames and the skirting boards, that if you tried to strip them back, the paint would literally melt onto the wood because it was just so thick. That's literally, I don't know if you can see, if I can get an angle where there's like a sheen, the texture is completely different to these. It's more, I think it's mainly because I used the vintage distress medium first off. I don't know if you can see that. You can see that because I wanted something that was fluid to get into the grooves. This was the first one I made, and this is the one that actually got me really excited into making some others. The grain on that is just, it's just stunning, absolutely stunning. So I'm gonna emboss. I've got one here actually. I need to emboss some more so I can show you. That's how it is without being distressed. And I mean, can you see that detail? It's just, oh, I just love it, absolutely love it. I do have another one as well, which I'll show you quickly. I have the brickwork, and I can't wait to play with this one, but that's another video. So I'm going to emboss a couple more pieces, and then I'll get on with showing you how I distress them. So first off I'm literally just using some postcards that I brought off of Amazon, quite thick card. With the, when you put the folder through your Sizzix or through your die cutting machine, you only need one of the clear plates because they're so thick. So first off, a little tip is a little spray on your card, just so the fibres loosen up, and then place your card inside the embossing folder and then just roll it through. And there is, look at that detail. Oh, it's amazing. Right, so I'm going to do the other three because I'm making 4 and I've already got one. And then we'll get on to showing you how I distress them. Right, let's get started. The first one I did, where have they gone? Here they are. So the white one that I said, this one, the texture on this one, this was the only one that I used the collage medium on. So I will show you how to do that. First off, I don't really think it kind of matters which way you have it round. I'm sure there's a certain way that you can have it round, but to be honest, I like the indents going in, but I also like them coming out as well. They both make a different overall look to what you're going for. So first off, I am going to get my medium and just a small layer, literally just a small layer, and you want to push it into the grain just like that. And then if you just keep and then scrape it off, and you'll notice that it stays when you scrape it off. It shows all the grain. I absolutely love this stuff. Absolutely love this stuff. I'm not going to lie to you, I was not expecting it to turn out how it turned out. Not one bit. I was amazed, especially when it was kind of an accident, really, to be honest, because I got my foam tool, and as you can see, it's got black soot on the bottom, and I dipped it into the walnut stain and the black came off, and I was like, oh no, I've ruined it. That's it, I've ruined it. This isn't going to look good. And then when I got a piece of kitchen roll, paper towel, and I smooshed quite a bit of it off, and then it started to look, I started to really like how it was looking, and I went over it with a whitewash, and I was amazed, absolutely amazed. I couldn't believe it. So I'm just gonna go in and just get off some of the surface like that with a baby wipe, and then I'm not going to film this bit, I'm going to dry it with a heat tool. So now that's all dry, feels amazing. I love the texture of this stuff, and I'm going to have to try and recreate, because I don't think there's any more. No, see, there's hardly any more black ink on there now. So what I'm going to do is, because I dipped it into the walnut stain, even though there was still black soot on it, I'm going to lightly tap the black soot and then lightly tap the walnut stain. And all I did is, bear with me, I'm just going to get some paper towel. Because this bit can get a bit messy. So all I did was literally just lightly rubbed over the surface. Now don't be scared, because you've put down the vintage medium, you've got like a nice surface to work on. So when I went back in and just kind of dabbed over, see, even that already looks amazing. Can you see that grain where it's getting right in there? So there's that part. I'm just going to quickly go over with the heat tool. Now I don't expect this is going to turn out exactly the same as this, because you can never do the same thing twice in crafting. So yeah, I'm going to go over it with a bit of distress spray in Vintage Photo, just a couple, and then go over it again with a spritz of water. Just move it about. This is why you need a paper towel. Up and down. Again, dab some off and dry. And what I love about it is the puddles of the ink, they stay within the groove of the wood, and I love that. So now I am going to take one of my trusty recyclable coffee pots, use a bit of gesso, any gesso will do, and then spritz. Oh, nearly out of water. Should have enough to make a bit of a whitewash. Take a brush. Now again, don't let this part scare you, because in the words of Bob Ross, happy accidents. Just literally lightly whitewash over. And yes, I know you're thinking, oh no, because all that ink work, you're ruining all the you know, but no, honestly, trust. Get another piece of paper towel and just lay over the top. See that? How amazing is that? I'm just going to quickly dry it off again and then do the last step for the first one. Now the last step, let's put these back on. I seriously need to invest in some new ones. These must be, they've got to be 15 years old, I think, and they still work amazingly. They're still really juicy. I've never re-inked these, and they've been in my conservatory, which obviously, you know, in the conservatory it's hot or it's cold. There's never a normal heat. But yeah, they still work perfectly after that long. Just gotta love it, absolutely love it. Right, so now I'm gonna take my favorite Vintage Photo, and I am just going to lightly go back over and you can do these until you get the look that you're going for. You can do this as many times as you want. I think on one of mine I literally went over about 3 times with the whitewash. So there, look at that wood grain, and again the dark gets right into the grooves. To be honest, I think, yeah, I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to add a little bit more black, but a little bit harder this time, because I really want it. I mean, not like extremely hard, but I really want it to get into those grooves. And then I'm just going to take a wet wipe and brush you see how I'm following the grain. That's part of what I love about using the vintage medium first, because it gives you a base. And now, like I said, I'll no doubt do more than one. Where's my whitewash? There it is. First off, I'm going to give it a little dry. And now and don't worry about it if you don't have to completely cover it. You see where I've missed bits here? That's one of the beauties about wood grain, is it's you know, it has its flaws, it has imperfections, and that's fine. Right, I'm just going to dry this again. And last, I knew this one would turn out different, but it gives you an idea. I mean, this is exactly how I've done that one, but this one's darker. I did want a little bit more darkness, and I think I wiped a lot more off of this one when I went in with the wet wipe. So they're never going to turn out the same. You can recreate it and you can get similar, but they are never going to turn out the same. Right, I'm going to do a little test and see. I'm going to take my wet wipe, and where do I want to go? Let's go down here. There you go. See? You can take it off and get your white space. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, but you're removing all your hard work. But you're not, because you're revealing so much more. And there you go. That's the first one. How gorgeous is that? So I could sit here and I'm going to keep going backwards and forwards. I could sit here and play all day. But how different? Completely different, but the same technique. I didn't do anything different. But yet they've turned out completely different, which is good, because like I said, not every piece of wood is the same. So that's the first one. Let me just tidy up around here. The next one we are going to do is the dark wood, mahogany, or whatever you would like to call it, whatever dark wood. So I'm just going to get a clean piece of paper towel. Now this one, I didn't use any medium at all. So where's my, oh, here they are. And I have to say, my Amazon man's just been, and I have another one. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? Look at those typewriter keys. Can't wait to play with that one as well. So much fun. Right, so take another piece, and whereas with this one I went and the embossed bits were raised, went in and they were raised, on this one I'm going to use the side where the embossed bits are raised and show you the difference. Right, so first off, I'm just going to go over with some vintage photo. I mean, straight away, look at that. Straight away, just look. It's just amazing. So I'm going to go over with my vintage photo. And you will get some little marks, but they'll come off when it's dried. Little spritz. No, it's not enough. I'm gonna have to fill up my water bowl. Put a little spritz. Move it about because you want it to get in the grooves, and then dry. And you can move the colour around, you know, like you would with resin or when you're working with alcohol inks. You can move the coloured water around with your heat tool if you wanted to, like this, look. Or you could just hold it up a little bit higher, because if that's the good thing about these 3D embossing folders, is where the puddles of colour are, they're obviously going to be a deeper colour and show up more of the grain. So I tend to hold it up a little bit higher so it doesn't move the water, but it does dry it. And there's your first step. I mean, that on itself, by itself, it just looks amazing. Now I'm going to go in. I'm going to have a bit of coffee first. Lush. Now I'm going to go in with my Vintage Photo Distress Spray. A little spritz of water just to help it move. Dab off the areas that you don't want a lot of the stain to sit at. And then again, there's a lot of heat tool work in this. Dry. I mean, that alone, look at that. You could just leave it like that, but I'm not going to, because it's me. So again, I'm going to do a whitewash, and like I said before, literally it doesn't matter if you miss spots, because isn't that the whole point of a whitewash? Except for that bit, I do want that bit. How gorgeous is that? So now is when I'm going to knocking everything over. I'm going to go in with my walnut stain and gathered twigs. So first, I don't want to use that one because I don't want the black, so I'm going to use this one. Look at that, straight away. Can you see? I mean, oh, I could just literally play all day. And I'm not even pressing hard. I'm literally not even pressing hard. I'm going to try and get rid of that white space. There we go. And like I said, then they're all going to turn out different. Every single one of them. So what I did on this one was I wanted to show up the grooves of the wood even more. So let me get rid of these so they're out of the way. I'm such a messy crafter. And then I took my gathered twigs and just put some down on my glass mat. Let's get this one. Took took a thin paintbrush. And then I just literally went down in the, I went in the way the wood grain was going. And now I'm going to try a little bit darker. Will get this. I don't know why this side keeps going white. And then I better put the lid back on that because I'll no doubt knock it over. A little bit of water. Just blend in because I don't want no harsh lines. Drag the colour down. And there you go. Again, completely different to the one I've already made, but how amazing. Absolutely stunning. I am going to go over, I want it a little bit darker like this one, so I'm going to go over with my oxide. I didn't do this last night, but I'm going to use my ground espresso oxide and just see just in places like that. And then a bit more that's it. And again, blend it all in so you've got no harsh lines. There you go. Look at that. I really hope the camera's doing it justice. Oh, I absolutely love it. So now the third one, the whitewashed birch wood, I guess. It's really light. This one is literally just my vintage photo family and a bit of whitewash. That's all that one is. So first off, we are going to I'm going to decide what way round I want to do it. I'm going to do it this way. Right, so first off, again, go over with some vintage photo. Little spritz of water just to bring the colour. Take away the parts you don't want and dry. To be honest, I think it's the drying in between layers that makes it look so cool. So I'm going to go in with my distress spray because this will literally get in the grooves, and then lift up the excess. And then another dry. Now I know you're thinking that's really dark and you're doing light wood, but that's where my trusty whitewash comes in. Stray bristle. And then again, like the other two, look at that. Oh, it's almost like it dries instantly. And if you don't go over it too heavy, it just sits on top. Oh, I love it. Let's get a clean. I mean, look at that corner. Oh, love it. So now I'm going to give it a quick dry, and then I'm going to go in with my distress paint. And I know you probably think, why are you using so many different materials? But I think that's the point. They're all different. This is a dry ink. This is a wet ink. So it's going to get into the grain of the wood. And then this is just completely different altogether. So they all do make a difference. They're worth doing. Definitely worth doing. And I mean, this is old. You'll be able to tell. Look at the state of that. How bad's that? It's had some use, but still works. So now I'm just gonna go over patches. That was spritz. bit of a dry. And now I'm going to go in heavy with the whitewash. Heavy salad. But don't worry, because guess what I'm gonna do? Now I've got the pattern. This is why I shouldn't have brought patterned kitchen roll. So, and another dry. Don't worry, I am going to edit all the drying out for you. Let's put the lid back on that. And now, final step, I'm going to go back in with the vintage photo and just bring back that grain. I mean, this one looks completely different. So the first one I did, but I still love it. Look at that. Oh, and this is the first one I did. Probably I went a little bit heavy-handed with the spray, to be honest, but I still love it. Really love it. I guess, I mean, if you're doing a project and you need more than one piece of wood grain, the best way to get them looking really similar is to lay however many pieces you need down and do the steps the same. So like you've got your 4 pieces, go over each one with the vintage distress ink pad, and then go over with the distress spray stain, and then so they're all going to turn out similar because you're doing one, then one, then one, then one, and you've got them all there. Whereas obviously I did these last night and now these ones are turning out different, but I'm not mad about it because wow, look at that. Oh, I wouldn't mind that in my kitchen. Now this one, oh, I love this one. You know this one's going to turn out completely different, and the camera's not doing it any justice. It's got a really gorgeous green on it. So this one is let's put those away. Peeled paint, evergreen bough and pumice stone, along with, oh, that I've got some tape stuck to, peacock feathers. Now, do I want to go in or out? I'm going to go out. And the first one I'm going to do is, where is my little pad? There it is. So let's take off. Right, peeled paint. Now remember, the first colour that you put on, it's a bit like when, oh, I've got mucky fingers. It's a bit like when you're doing your makeup and you prime your face first. So, I mean, I haven't primed these. These are just going onto straight card. Yeah, I guess you could prime them. You know, you'd get a different effect if you went over them with clear gesso or with, you know, the white gesso. So, yeah, you could quite easily. But I don't think you'd get, I don't think it would pick up the colours if you primed them. Right, apart from my really bad attempt at distressing that, I'm not too bothered about it because it's the base, it's the under. So right, so now I'm going to go in with some peacock feathers. A couple of sprays and then some water to help it give it a bit more movement. Now this one, when I dried it, the card did get really bitty on me, but it was fine because after I dried it, it just brushed off. So, right, take up any puddles. Because that's the colour that you wanted to get right in the groove of the grain. Now I am going to go over with my, I really do need some more. I've got my acrylic ink ones, but I have a new one. Right, so let's go over with our pumice stone. That looks straight away, straight in the groove. Oh, just love it. Absolutely love it. Look at that. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Right. Give that a quick dry. And then, yep, I'm going to do my whitewash. So what has everybody been watching on telly? I don't know if you, like, the UK is back in a complete lockdown again. So Netflix is my best friend at the moment. Bridgerton, so good, so good. I've watched about 3 times now. I don't care. I'll watch it again. It is brilliant. And I watched Undercover as well, which is about Tupac and Biggie Smalls' murder, which was really interesting. Being that I used to listen to them when I was younger, and I remember when they died. So yeah, that was really interesting as well. And at the minute, I don't know if you have it in the States, but I am watching crime. I love my crime. Crime is my favourite thing to watch. So I'm watching a program called The Bay, which is amazing. Right, so that's that, and another quick dry, and I'm gonna go in with my vintage photo. Can't help it. Oh, look at that! Wow. These are literally coming out completely different to what I've already done, and I don't care. They're so good. How different are they? But yet they're both amazing. I think this one, I might have gone over with some paint or with the gathered twigs distress stain in the dauber. That's what I think the difference is. I don't want to change it though. Sorry, I don't want to, because I look at this. Look at that grain. I don't want to. I really don't. So there, they are my 4 wood grains from one embossing folder. And I absolutely love them all. They're amazing. This embossing folder is amazing. I will be doing a project as well, showing how I'm going to use these. So yes, stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I absolutely loved it. I could literally sit here and play for hours making these wood grains. I really could. They're so gorgeous. I'm now going to go and have fun with the bricks, because can you imagine? Oh, mind's blown. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you give it a go, because like I said, it is so much fun. So I really hope you give it a go. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and then hit the little bell so you're notified whenever I upload a video. And it also lets me know that you like what I'm doing, so to keep putting out content. So thank you, and take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.